Hello students, welcome into the another session of CS02 Programming in C. As all of you know that we are discussing about unit number 3 as per the Saurashtra University syllabus, and lastly we have completed with various types of miscellaneous functions given into the syllabus. Now let's start with another topic, that is standard library function. Into the standard library function, even it contains various types of functions like ABS, ATOF, ATOL, exit free, LABS, Q sort, random, STRTOUL, and srandom. So we will discuss about all these functions theoretically, as these are not important for examination point of view. So we will not go for the practical session about standard library functions. Now, first one is ABS. As the name is indicated, ABS function is used to find out the absolute value of a given number. Now, one common thing is there in all these functions are that the input parametric value are in format of numbers only. So we'll deal with numbers while we are executing this code in programming in C. Now, what happens into the ABS function? Whenever you input any number into the ABS function, it converts from negative to positive and it keeps positive as it is. That means suppose I given -2 as a input, then it converts into the +2, and if I enters +3, then it keeps 3 as it is into the output variable. So this is the functionality of ABS function. Now next one is ATOF. As you can see onto the screen, ATOF is a function, or we can say that it is a standard library functions available into the C, which converts the entire string into the floating point number. So we can say that it is a one type of type conversion function in which it converts the type of inputted value from string to floating point number. Now the example is also given over here over the screen, in which you can see that first of all I have defined the three library functions which is necessary for executing such type of code. These three library functions are hash include standard input output.h, hash include console input output.h, and the third one that I have included in this program is string.h. Then there is a main executable statement. Into the main executable statement and its brackets, two more variables I have declared, that is float value and character string given the size 20, that is called as character array. Now what I am doing is, first of all I am passing my inputted variable values into the strcpy function, which copies the given string into the variable called str, and then I am passing this str into the function called ATOF. Whatever the functionality of ATOF is performed, stores its output into the third variable which is called as value, and that value is a floating point value. So what it actually does, it converts the entire string into the floating point character and stored inside the variable called VAL, and then this printf statement will print that output onto the screen. So what will be the expected output of this particular program? Even it is mentioned on a very next line of this entire code, that is string value is equals to, this is the original string which I have given into the variable, mentioned into the double inverted comma, and after the conversion into the floating point value, the output will be decimal as I have selected onto the screen. So this is the functionality of ATOF. Again I am just revising the theoretical session of ATOF. ATOF function is a function which is used to convert the string into the floating point character. It is just like a type conversion function which is available in C. Whatever the value is given into the double inverted comma is considered as a string, and it is going to be converted into the floating point value using this particular program. So this was all about ATOF. The next function as per the syllabus is concerned is ATOL. Now the functionality of ATOL is mentioned into the theoretical session onto the screen. Even this is a one type of conversion function which converts the string argument into the long integer. Again, I am repeating my words. This is the standard library function which converts the string argument into the long integer type. The syntax is mentioned onto the screen. For executing this particular function, or we can say to demonstrate this function practically, first we have to predefine the integer type, that is long integer. Then we have to give the function called ATOL, and then into the bracket as a parametric value we have to pass a one variable, that is the string variable. Example is given on a very next line. In that example, the previous example is as it is. I have just changed the name of function from ATOF to ATOL. That means the first three are the library functions that we have to give. Then there is a main executable statement. Then there are variable declaration, certain variable declaration for inputting the values and getting the output, where inputted value R is into the format of string. That string is first copied into the variable called str. Then ATOL function convert the string from string to long integer, and then it stores inside the variable called VL, and then the printf statement will print the particular output onto the screen, and the output look like this, where string and long value doesn't make any sense difference. It shows as it is onto the screen, but there is a huge internal difference is there, that 98993489 is actually, or you can say fundamentally, it is declared as a string, but whenever it get executed onto the screen, it considers that particular as a numerical long integer value. So this is the functionality of ATOL. Next one is exit. This particular function is very much important into the semester number 2, when we are discussing about the data structure using C language that you have to study in next semester, but yet we'll see it theoretically. The theory says about this standard library function is that this function is used to exit from the intermediate execution of the looping control structure or decision making statement if the condition is true also. Again, I am repeating my words, which is also mentioned into the theoretical session. Let it be described. The C library function void exit terminates the calling process immediately. Any open the descriptor belongs to the process are closed any children for the process of inherited by the process number 1 and process parent send to the signal. This is a bit complicated theory which I have mentioned over here, but in short, this particular function will terminate immediately as it executes into the next line of the code. This is the syntax of executing the exit function in C. Just define the void data type, write down the exit function with brackets and semicolon. It will terminate the program immediately. To see it practically, here I have mentioned 3 line of code, where first 3 line are the basic line, that is the declaration of library function, and then void main is the main executable statement, and into the bracket first printf statement I have given is the start of the program which displays onto the screen. Then On a very next line, you can say that there is an exit of the program. It's a printf statement, thus it will print the message which is given inside this particular function, and then I have used exit statement. Now what it does, after that even there is a third line, that is the end of program. But whenever we execute this code, let me execute the code. Instead of printing the 3 lines, it will only execute the first 2 lines, as I have indicated exit as a third, or you can say as I have mentioned exit on a line number 8. So it will not give output like starting of the program, exiting of the program and ending of the program. Instead of that, it gives only 2 statements onto the screen, that is starting of the program and exiting from the program onto the screen, which is there just like this onto the screen. Clear? If I put this exit instead of line number 8, let me copy this exit and let me put it onto the line number 6. Let's remove this line from the entire code and let's re-execute the code. There is only the single line onto the screen, that is starting of the program, even though line number 7 and 8 is there onto the screen. So this is the functionality of exit. Let's go ahead. Let me close all the miscellaneous tabs. Okay. Next is free. So this was all about free. This is a very important function again for data structure subject, which we are going to discuss in detail in semester number 2, that is free. The theory of this free function says that it deallocates the memory which is previously allocated by calling the function called calloc, malloc or realloc. If you look at to the syllabus of our subject, then shortly we are going to have a look about malloc, calloc and realloc into the memory allocation function. So we can say that this malloc, realloc and calloc are memory allocation functions which allocates the memory for storing the value inside the system. So this function will release, or you can say deallocates, all this previously allocated memory by the memory allocation function. Syntax of this particular program is mentioned onto the screen, where simply by writing just a free and into the bracket which with the parametric value which is declared previously as a variable into the program, we can use the free function into the program. For the demonstration purpose, don't take this program into the consideration right now, because to know this program very well we need to have a detailed knowledge about the pointer, which we are going to discuss in our last unit, that is unit number 5. But as the point is there, as the topic is given, we need to have a look about this particular function. In this program, the previous line of code initially allocates the memory. That means it will allocate the memory in the system and stores the given input into the memory, and then into the last statement before the return, it deallocates the memory which is allocated previously by the particular line of code, or we can say the instruction set, and it releases the memory from the system. We'll discuss this code in detail while we are discussing about unit number 5 called pointer, because there is a use of pointer in this program. No need to write right now, no need to write this particular program right now into the journals. Let's move on. Next function is LABS, that is long absolute. It is similar like ABS functions that we have recently completed, is the first topic. Next one is QSort. Before discussing about the QSort, let me close the previous tag because lots of tag I have opened. Fine. So QSort is there onto the screen. Name of this particular function itself describe the functionality of this function, that is this particular function sorts the entire array. What is the meaning of sort? Actually, it's a very long topic to be discussed, but I will try to show you in a prescribed manner. Say for example, these are my 5 data which I have stored inside the one dimension, in which I have stored into the array. For example, I have stored this 21640 in a one dimensional array. The name of that array is A. Then the location of A0 holds the value called 2. Location A of 1 holds the value called 1. Second location holds 6. Third holds 4. And the last location of this entire array holds the value called 0. Ultimately, the size of this array is A of 5. That means I have initialized this particular array is as integer A of 5, and then I have stored the value like 2, 1, 6, 4 and 0. Now what a sorting does, it will take all the values one by one. It compares the first with second, third, fourth and fifth, and as per the decision making statement is given, it sorts the record. Say for example, into the decision making statement, suppose I have given a condition which sorts the value from low to high. Even we can go for high to low, highest value to lowest value and lowest value to highest value. We'll take any one of these two. Let's take the first one. Now whenever the functionality executes, what will be the output? That is 0. Then next is 1, then 2, then 4 as per my output, and the last one is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Fine. Now if you reverse all this value, then we becomes to know that these are the sorted values. This could be easily done in C by just using the function called QSort. I know in our subject, or we can say in our field, there are various other types of sorting techniques are there, which we are going to discuss in semester number 2, but this is the generalized technique which is used by the programming in C, that can be easily done using the function called QSort, where in this function, as you can see into the program, after declaring the library functions, one array I have taken and I have stored the static values. That means whenever you execute this code, the value remains of this particular array remains same. Then I have passed the entire array into the function called QSort, This function sorts the entire array and rearranges the number, and then this looping control structure will print from lowest to highest. Output is also given onto the screen. First, you can see that my inputted values are 88, 56, 100, 2 and 25. This is my actual inputted values. We know that this 88 is on A of 0, 56 is on A of 1, 100 is on A of 2, 2 is on A of 3, and last 25 is on A of 4. Once this queue short completes its execution, it shows the output like first it will print 2, which is the lowest from rest of the values. Then second highest is 25, which is lowest than rest of the values. 56 is rest on the left side value and highest, sorry, it is lowest than left side value and highest than right side value. Then 88 and then 100. So ultimately all the records get sorted from lowest to highest. That is the functionality of queue sort. Next one is RAND function, that is called as random function. Now as the name is suggested, this function will generate random numbers from the given range of numbers. Say for example, my range is 1 to 8. Now whenever I passed this range into the random function, and executing the program for the first time, it might generate the number called as 7. Second time it generates 2, then it might generate 1, again it might generate 7. That means any random number can be generated from this range, which is given inside the function called random. This is the theory of random. The random function is used in C to generate random numbers in the range 0 to maximum. Syntax of this particular random function is just write down the keyword called rand and then into the bracket give minimum and maximum range of generating the numbers. Here you can see I have given one range. After the library functions and main executable statement, there is an opening and closing bracket. For I is equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, it's a loop, and in that loop I have passed the random function. So this random function will randomly displays any number which is in between the looping control structure, that is 0 to 5. Next function is strtool. Next function is strtool. Again, this is a standard library function which is given in C, which converts the initial part of string into the unsigned long integer value according to the given base. Again, I am repeating the theory. This particular function is a standard library function given into the C, which converts the initial part of the string into the unsigned long integer value according to the given base. So As per the theory, it indicates that into the syntax, this function contains the multiple parametric values. Syntax of this function is given on a very next line. In strtoul, first there is a string, there is an end, and then there is a base. That means there are three parametric values: starting, ending, and base. We can execute this particular program in this way, where there is a character array. In this character array, I have stored some string like this is the test 2030. In this string, it contains alphabets as well as some digits. Then there are two more variables like value and return. Then I have written return is equals to strtoul. I have passed my original string. Then I have specified the ending of the string, that is the comma, and the base is 10. So what will be the output? It will return all the decimal values from the entire string. That means it will extract all the digits from the entire string and print that particular digits onto the screen. So you can see that 2030 3000 is displayed onto the screen. And the last one is srandom. Let's see the functionality of srandom. Again, it initializes or it works for generating the random numbers. But it generates the random number which is from the unsigned integer values. As you can see onto the screen, simply just by changing the name of function in the entire program from random to srandom, it gives the particular output onto the screen. Let's run this code. Because internet is get disconnected from my system due to some technical issue, I'm just switching from live to off. So it's there onto the screen. Original numbers are 0 to 99 and few numbers are generated which is more than 0 and less than 99. For example, 34, 66, 33, 73, all these are the random numbers which is generated from lowest 0 to highest 99 onto the screen. So this was all about the function, or we can say the standard library function, which is given into the C. In next lecture, we'll go for various types of memory allocation function, that is malloc, realloc and calloc. Thank you very much students for listening me, and have a nice day.